My husband made the new Sarah a comforting herbal tea, and I immediately asked for a divorce. He was shocked, just for a bowl of comforting herbal tea. I said, yes. It wasn't about the tea itself, it was about finally understanding that he had never truly cared for me. He thought I couldn't live without him, unaware that I was the one who had been holding our marriage together. You want to divorce me just because of a cup of comforting herbal tea? Marcus, from behind his desk, looked up at me with surprise, his thick eyebrows slightly raised. Is that really necessary? I nodded slightly. Let's do it. Marcus leaned back in his chair, arms crossed, watching me with a half smile. This is your 99th time asking for a divorce. I froze. Had I really given him that many chances? Marcus's lips curled into a slight smile. Have you heard the boy who cried wolf? When you do it too many times, it stops scaring anyone. Admit it, you can't leave me. Just then, Sarah knocked and entered, a man's business suit draped over her arm. I immediately recognized the suit as Marcus. Throughout our marriage, I had always helped Marcus pick out his clothes, ties, cufflinks, watches, and even his underwear and socks. I knew his wardrobe better than he did. Mr. Marcus, I'm here to return your jacket. Yesterday, thank you. Mr. Marcus replied calmly, no need to thank me. He glanced at me, then asked her, feeling better. In the past, hearing Mr. Marcus show such concern for another woman would have made me jealous, and I would have questioned if he was interested in her. But after so many times, he was annoyed, and I was exhausted. So I simply turned around, leaving the office to him so he could freely fuss over his subordinate. But I didn't expect Sarah to call out to me, Grace, please don't misunderstand Mr. Marcus isn't cheating. He lent me this jacket to cover up because my skirt got dirty yesterday. When my period started, I couldn't help but turn and look at her, which she heard me say Marcus was cheating. Is this how you try to stir up trouble in your boss's marriage? Also, my mother didn't give birth to a younger sister for me. Don't call me sister. Just call me by my name. Sarah froze, as if startled by my harsh tone, her eyes quickly reddening, tears welling up in them. Like a startled little rabbit. Grace. Marcus instantly stood up, pulling out a handkerchief to hand to Sarah, to wipe her tears, while sharply reprimanding me. How old are you? Why are you being so petty with a young woman? Is it fun to bully a newcomer fresh out of school? Sarah lowered her head, tears silently falling, and whimpered, Mr. Marcus, please don't be angry. I said the wrong thing. I'll just apologize to Grace. Saying so, she bowed to me. Grace, I'm sorry. Marcus pulled her up, his gaze cold and fixed on me. Enough, Grace. How many times have I told you not to act like the CEO's wife at the company? Sarah, standing beside him, smirked at me where Mr. Marcus couldn't see. I suddenly found it ridiculous. Sarah, who had only been with the company for 3 months, had just stolen the trust of my husband of 5 years. I couldn't help but look up at Marcus' handsome, refined face. Are you deaf? I just told her to call me by my name. She's the one who kept calling me Grace. What does that have to do with me? With that, I ignored them, slammed the door, and left the office. Back home, I immediately contacted a lawyer to draft the divorce papers. While waiting, my best friend Emma sent me a text message, a screenshot of Sarah's social media post. My best friend had studied to be a secretary, and hadn't found a job immediately after graduation, so she joined Vance on my recommendation. She was now the chief assistant in the CEO's office, Sarah's direct supervisor. Aunt has arrived, making me irritable. Luckily, someone specially brewed a gourmet herbal drink for me. It feels so warm going down, and it's wonderful to be taken care of. The accompanying picture showed a man's hand, holding a cup and offering it to her. On that hand, our wedding rings were clearly visible. It immediately identified the hand's owner, Marcus. Just then, my phone chimed, and a text message popped up. I heard the house manager say you have a stuffy nose. Drink more hot water. He brewed a gourmet herbal drink for another woman, but for me, it was just, drink more hot water. I clutched my phone, staring at the chat window that showed no new messages, my heart turning cold. From 18 to 28, I knew Marcus' personality all too well. He wasn't someone who liked to meddle, and he certainly wouldn't be this kind to a new Sarah for no reason. He was truly falling for her. To say I wasn't sad would be a lie. The helplessness of watching my loved one fall for someone else right before my eyes was tearing me apart. That night, I slept very restlessly. When I woke up the next day, my pillowcase was wet, and my eyes were swollen like walnuts. I washed my face, put on sunglasses, and drove to Lakeside Assisted. I pushed Henry out onto the lawn to enjoy the sun. It was the first time my dad and I had such a frank conversation. Henry sat in his wheelchair, smoking, occasionally glancing at me. "Why are you wearing sunglasses? Did hit you?" I shook my head, getting straight to the point. "I'm divorcing Marcus." Henry reacted as if he'd heard a joke, taking 2 quick drags from his cigarette. "When's the divorce? Do you want me to find someone to help you move your things?" I shook my head, pulled a debit card from my pocket, and pressed it into his hand. "Keep this money. I might not be back to see you for a while." Only when Henry clutched the card did he believe I was serious. He stared blankly at me until my back was distant before shouting after me, "No, wait, are you really going through with it? Where will you find someone better if you divorce him?" Right, everyone thought Marcus was the best match for me. Good education, good family background, handsome. But they forgot I also graduated from a top university with a flagship major. I had even skipped 3 grades and was hailed as an AI prodigy. While studying in Sterling City as a sophomore, I independently applied for multiple AI patents. Before graduating, I led several colleagues in establishing a leading domestic apex, and I still hold 60% controlling interest in that company. Marrying into a wealthy family like the Vance family wouldn't have been possible with my dad with a gambling problem and health issues, or by acting like a naive facade and manipulative act. On the way home, I received a call from my best friend Emma. "There's a high school reunion tonight, are you coming?" We both attended high school locally. The friends we were close with would always find a chance to get together around this time every year. Thinking I was leaving, I figured I should say a proper goodbye, so I agreed. At 8:30 p.m., I arrived at private 603 of the social, following the address Emma had sent me. My classmates started teasing, asking why Marcus hadn't come with me. Someone else said, "Mr. Marcus is swamped with work. When has he ever come to a reunion?" Just then, a woman sitting in the corner couldn't help but scoff. "Who said Marcus isn't here? I just saw him in the next room, helping a young woman with her drinks, when I went to the restroom." "Grace, your husband isn't cheating, is he? Are you finally falling out of favor?" I instantly recognized her, Victoria, the perpetual second place who I always overshadowed in high school. Before I started dating, she had also confessed her feelings to him. When chose me, she believed I had stolen him, and had held a grudge against me ever since. Now that she finally had the chance, she could gloat. Upon hearing this, everyone else chimed in, "No way. Marcus loves Grace so much. If any man in the world would cheat, it wouldn't be him." I don't believe it either. You should have seen the lengths Marcus went to pursue Grace back then. When got into that car accident, Marcus was so scared he cried. At that time, Marcus' parents didn't approve of him dating Grace, and cut him off financially. To buy Grace a birthday gift, Marcus worked for a month at a burger after school. They recounted all the ways Marcus had been good to me in the past, forcing old memories to flash before my eyes like a revolving lantern. They refused to believe Marcus would cheat, prompting Victoria to slam the table and stand up. "If you don't believe me, come with me to the next room, and see for yourselves." "Let's go then. Are we scared of you? Come on, Grace, let's go together." Someone pulled my arm, wanting me to go with them to put Victoria in her place. But I didn't dare. Because I knew, what Victoria was saying was entirely possible. Emma was about to step in and smooth things over, but seeing me remain seated, Victoria crossed her arms and taunted, "What's wrong, Grace? Are you scared? I've always said that a woman like you, always fighting and grasping, will lose everything eventually, and end up a stray dog." As she spoke, the private room door was pushed open from the outside. Standing at the doorway was Marcus. But his Sarah was right behind him. "I heard you were having a reunion next door, so I came to say hello. Wife, have fun." This room's bill tonight is on me. I glanced at Emma, who shook her phone at me, indicating she had texted Marcus to come and save the situation. My classmates were thrilled, cheering. Some people were saying Grace was abandoned. Open your eyes and see, she's perfectly happy. Victoria stiffened her neck, but couldn't utter a single word in rebuttal. However, just then, Sarah, from behind Marcus, cautiously tugged on his sleeve. Mr. Marcus, are these your high school classmates? I'd love to meet them. The next second, Marcus unhesitatingly put his arm around the young woman's shoulder, and began introducing the classmates present, one by one. In that moment, the entire room's atmosphere froze. I felt as if I had been slapped hard, standing awkwardly, caught between a rock and a hard place. Victoria, who had been speechless moments before, curled her lips and whispered mockingly in my ear, I've never seen a boss listen so attentively to their assistant, and introduce his high school classmates to her right, in front of his wife. Looks like your title as Mrs. Vance is about to be stolen. I didn't want to stay there and be humiliated, so I turned to leave. But, with tearful eyes, asked Marcus, is angry. I just wanted to get to know your old classmates, I didn't mean anything else. The next second, Marcus directly called out to me, Grace, stop being difficult. I stopped, but didn't turn around. Seeing this, Sarah picked up a bottle of wine from the table, poured a glass, and walked over to me. Grace, please don't be upset. If I did something wrong, isn't drinking a penalty enough? Saying so, she tilted her head back and down the drink, then pulled my hand. I finished it. Grace, can you stay now? Otherwise, people will think I'm Mr. Marcus' mistress. Even if you don't care about me, you should at least save Mr. Marcus some face, right? I yanked my hand back, but unexpectedly, Sarah's body tilted backward, and she fell straight down. She hit the dining table behind her, sending dishes and cutlery crashing to the floor, soup splattering on the wall. She also fell, her palm landing on broken ceramic shards on the floor, leaving a bleeding cut. Ah! Marcus' eyes flashed. He didn't even care about his classmates being present. He immediately pulled out a handkerchief, tenderly bandaged Sarah's hand, and sharply reprimanded me. Grace, when did your temper get so bad? It's all my fault for spoiling you too much. This time, I'll make sure you learn a lesson. Saying so, he pulled out his phone, and called his trusted executive assistant. Right now, immediately, freeze all of Grace's debit cards. Yes, don't leave her a single cent. The executive assistant on the other end of the line respectfully replied, yes. Just then, a waiter and the club manager entered. Seeing the mess on the floor, they presented the bill, the private room's charges, plus the cost of the broken dishes and decor, amount to $280,000. Could someone please settle the bill? Marcus curled his lips and pointed at me. She caused it, make her pay. It was well known that I had left the workplace after marrying Marcus. Now that Marcus had frozen all my cards, I obviously couldn't come up with $280,000. My best friend Emma was about to pull out her card to pay for me, but Marcus immediately understood her intention. Ms. Emma, finding a job isn't easy these days. You don't want to get fired, do you? Emma froze, caught in a dilemma. Marcus then looked at me defiantly. I hope you lines take responsibility, and not let your classmates suffer this misfortune because of you. My classmates understood the unspoken threat in Marcus' words and tacitly refrained from helping. Victoria, who had been eager to see me humiliated, clapped her hands with glee. The AI prodigy from school, surely she's not so helpless without her husband that she can't even pay this much. Looks like you are useless after all. How are you any different from those women who live off men? I looked up at Marcus, understanding he wanted to force me to beg him to yield. But I merely sneered, and handed a card to the waiter. Go ahead and swipe it. The club manager immediately had someone bring the card reader. Everyone looked at me in surprise, wondering where I still had money. A moment later, the card reader was brought over. The waiter inserted the card and asked me to enter my PIN. After I entered the PIN, a cold mechanical voice announced, transaction failed, this card has been frozen. Someone immediately burst into laughter. Victoria's face twisted into a triumphant sneer. Are you gambling on Marcus's mercy? He already said all your cards were frozen and you still tried. You are trying to act tough like this, aren't you embarrassed enough? Sarah also put on a sympathetic expression. Grace, men generally don't like overly strong women. If you apologize to Mr. Marcus now, he might let you off the hook. Anyone with eyes could see Marcus was waiting for me to apologize to him, but explicitly pointing it out was like putting me on the spot. She bet I wouldn't be able to back down in public, but neither she nor Victoria knew that this card wasn't given to me by Marcus at all. The only reason it was frozen was because I hadn't used it for so long, and the bank had frozen it to ensure the security of the funds. So, I pulled out my phone, and, in front of everyone, made a call to the bank manager, putting it on speakerphone. Mr. Taylor. This is Grace. One of my cards with your bank has been frozen. Could you please unfreeze it for me? On the other end, he immediately replied respectfully, certainly, right away. A few minutes later, I asked the waiter to swipe it again. This time, the cold mechanical voice announced, transaction successful. Thank you for your payment. At this, the crowd erupted. My goodness, the bank manager personally unfreezing her card. That's incredibly impressive. I heard you need over $5 billion in deposits to get personal service from a bank manager. And with such a respectful attitude, Grace must be their super VIP client, right? Victoria's face darkened with disbelief as she pointed at me. Didn't you get married soon after graduation? How do you have so much money? I gave her a cold look. Do you have to graduate to make money? If you can't earn it yourself, you question others. What kind of person are you that I need to explain myself to you? Victoria's chest heaved with anger. You. Sarah also stared at me with wide, watery eyes, incredulous. Grace, you didn't secretly embezzle Mr. Marcus' family assets, did you? I slapped her. Saying things without evidence is slander. Be careful, or I'll have my lawyer sue you. You think I'm the biggest obstacle, preventing you from marrying into the Vance family. It's actually yourself. Even if I vacated this position, you wouldn't have the ability to climb into it. Having said my piece, I didn't linger. I picked up my purse and turned to leave. Marcus gritted his teeth and shouted, "Stop. If you walk out that door today, we are getting divorced." I stopped. My phone received a new text message, the divorce papers drafted by the lawyer. I immediately forwarded it to Marcus, then turned to him, and said, "The divorce papers have been drafted and sent to you. If you want a divorce, just print it out, and sign it. I'll resign from Vance tomorrow. Wherever you go, I'll go with you." Emma came out with me, and she was indignant the whole way. Only, when we reached her apartment building did I stop the car, and put my hand on hers. "You've worked at Vance for so many years, resigning isn't the best option for you. Don't make an impulsive decision because of me. Go back and think it over before you decide." Emma's parents and boyfriend were all local, and she was already planning their wedding. Resigning now to go to Sterling City with me would undoubtedly lead to many complications. Hearing me say this, Emma also lowered her head. She understood her situation better than I did. As I left, Emma stood on the sidewalk curb and asked me, "Are you really divorcing Marcus? But you two used to be so in love. But you two used to be so in love." On the way back, that sentence kept circling in my mind. I remembered the first time I saw Marcus was on the first day of high school. Emma and I were assigned to clean the school radio station. The moment I pushed open the door, a cool, noble young man was sitting in the school radio station, reading a beautiful essay aloud. The evening sun illuminated his face, making him look like a prince from a fairy tale. In his senior year, he confessed his feelings to me, saying he had liked me from the moment he first saw me. Back then, the boy's sincerity was undeniable. I never doubt sincerity, but sincerity can change in an instant. After returning home, I sent Alex a text message saying I would be back in Sterling City next month. At that moment, in the brightly lit executive boardroom of Apex, Alex, upon receiving my message, excitedly pumped his fist and cheered, "Woohoo!" The other executives all looked at Alex. Most of them were the colleagues who had partnered with me when I first founded Apex. Someone asked, "Deputy VP Alex, what's got you so excited?" Alex waved his phone. Our boss is coming back next month. Hearing this, everyone in the meeting room cheered. Yes. That's great. With our boss back, we can reach new heights. Oh my goodness, we've been waiting for ages, finally she's coming. Wait, how could the Vance family let our boss leave? Could it be that our boss divorced Marcus? When this speculation was voiced, everyone fell silent. Alex became even more restless. No, I have to go pick up our boss myself. Saying so, he named a few people, and led them as they stood up and headed out. I packed my belongings in the house. Altogether, they fit into a small suitcase. Marcus and I had signed a prenuptial agreement. I couldn't take anything but my clothes and shoes. The moment I pushed the door open, I came face to face with Marcus, who was just returning home. My eyes sharply caught the lipstick stain on his collar. The lipstick shade was identical to the one Sarah wore last night. It wasn't hard to imagine where Marcus had spent the night, as he hadn't returned home. Are you leaving? Marcus' gaze fell on the suitcase in my hand, his voice terrifyingly grim. Without a word, he snatched my suitcase and walked into the living room. My suitcase was tossed aside. He sat on the sofa, legs crossed, arms folded. His brown eyes stared at me unblinkingly. There's a limit to how much you can throw a fit. Why are you so angry this time? All right, I give up, okay. Come here, let me hug you. Saying this, he opened his arms to me. I stood still, not moving, and instead asked him, have you signed the divorce papers? Marcus grew angry. Grace, don't push your luck. You know I'd never divorce you, and I haven't done anything to betray you. I sneered. Oh, really? Then can you explain where you were last night, and whose lipstick stain is on your collar? Marcus flinched, then pulled at his collar and discovered the lipstick stain, immediately looking annoyed. What's there to explain? When I was taking Sarah home, she fell asleep halfway and leaned her head on my shoulder, so it must have rubbed off by accident. Just then, Marcus' phone rang. It was Sarah. Sarah was crying hysterically on the other end of the line. Mr. Marcus, help me. Marcus heard her and immediately panicked. It turned out Sarah's father had accumulated a lot of debt and fled abroad. Those people couldn't find her dad, so they came to her house looking for her. The young woman had never seen such a brutal display of debt collection before. She was terrified and immediately called Marcus for help in a panic. All right, don't be scared. I'm coming right away. Marcus stood up while reassuring Sarah. He only remembered to glance back at me when he reached the door. Those debt collectors are ruthless. I'm worried Sarah can't handle them. Wait for me, I'll be back soon. In the past, I would have had a huge argument with Marcus and refused to let him go. But now, I merely nodded and told him, go. Marcus felt a strange sensation, but ultimately didn't think much of it. He turned and slammed the door as he left. I gave a bitter laugh, picked up my suitcase again, and was about to leave when bodyguards blocked my way. Mr. Marcus ordered before he left that Grace isn't allowed to go anywhere until he returns. I was furious. Marcus was actually restricting my freedom. I pushed a few times, but the bodyguards blocked me completely. Helpless, I could only sit on the sofa and quietly wait for Marcus to return. Time passed slowly, and Marcus didn't return until evening. His car pulled up on the main road outside the estate. I broke through the bodyguard's obstruction and sharply questioned Marcus, who had just gotten out of the car. How dare you not let me leave? Marcus ignored me. Instead, he bent down and opened the back door, revealing Sarah inside. Sarah's eyes were red, and she looked startled. Marcus put his arm around her waist, and said to me, Sarah's current place isn't safe. Starting today, she'll move in with us, until she finds a new place. I hope you can be more understanding during this time. Don't keep bothering her, it's not easy for a young woman like her. I sneered, no need for all that trouble. Sign the divorce papers, and you two can share a room. I'll just leave. Sarah immediately stepped forward, saying with a remorseful expression, Grace, please don't misunderstand. Mr. Marcus is a good man, he's always looked out for me. There's nothing improper between us, not as sordid as you think. What do you think I'm thinking? All I want is a divorce. Marcus, are you really that unable to live without me? To get Marcus to sign the divorce papers, I even resorted to reverse psychology. Marcus, born a golden boy, had an inherent arrogance that wouldn't tolerate such provocation. So he gritted his teeth and said, "Fine, let's divorce then. I'd like to see what kind of good life you'll have without me. Don't come crawling back to me, begging to get back together." Hearing him say that, I immediately handed him the divorce papers. Marcus, without a second thought, picked up a pen and signed it. With the signed divorce papers in hand, the dull ache in my heart seemed to vanish instantly. I thought I would surely be reluctant, but what I felt more was relief. Turns out, no matter who you marry, it all ends up the same. Sarah, seeing that Marcus and I were divorcing, couldn't hide the joy in her eyes. She immediately tugged on Marcus' arm and instigated, "Mr. Marcus, hasn't the company recently incurred a deficit? I suspect Grace and her best friend embezzled the money together. Think about that debit card. The other day, where did she get so much money? And she dared to divorce you. You absolutely must not let her off the hook." Upon hearing this, Marcus had an epiphany. He grabbed my hand. "Did you embezzle money from the company?" Back then, Marcus' grades weren't as good as mine, so he didn't get into the same university as me. We were in a long-distance relationship. We could only see each other once a month at most, sometimes even half a year if we were too busy. He didn't know my situation, but he knew my family background, and was certain I couldn't have that much money. So, as soon as Sarah said it, he immediately believed her. Let go. I haven't touched a single cent from Vance. All this money I earned during university. I struggled hard, trying to pull my hand free from Marcus' grip. But grip was strong, my hand turned red, yet I couldn't budge him even an inch. Sarah, standing by, continued to fan the flames. "Mr. Marcus, do you believe a university student could earn this much money? Grace is just taking you for a fool. She probably married you for your money. Now that she has the money, she's not even pretending anymore, she just wants to divorce you outright. If you ask me, she definitely has another man outside. She hooked up with him, and is taking your money to go to him. If you don't believe me, check her phone." Hearing this, Marcus snatched my phone, unlocked it with facial recognition, and pulled up my text messages. The first chat was with Alex. It only contained one message: "I'll be back in Sterling City next month." Sarah leaned in to look, her eyes suddenly brightened, and she excitedly exclaimed, See, didn't I tell you? She really did arrange to run off with another man." Marcus' face turned as black as soot. "Alex. Your junior from university." Back then, when Marcus came to visit me at university, he had met Alex. At the time, Alex was persistent about investing in my company, and Marcus even got very jealous, thinking he liked me. I explained, "It's not like she said." However, before I could finish, Marcus directly slapped me. "Grace, you've gone too far. How have I, Marcus, ever wronged you that you would betray me like this?" His slap sent me sprawling onto the main road, my lip bleeding, my cheek swollen. Clutching my face, I looked up at him. "Marcus, are you insane? You believe whatever she says? Do you have any sense left?" Sarah stepped forward, looking wronged. "Mr. Marcus, I was only doing it for your good. All I did was expose Grace's true nature, and she's actually questioning my intentions." Marcus grabbed my hair and pointed at my nose, then explained to me why you were in contact with Alex, and why you are so determined to divorce me. The stinging scalp pain was so intense I could barely open my eyes, but I still gritted my teeth, and said, "Do you truly not know why I'm divorcing you? Lately, how have you treated Sarah, and how have you treated me? Do you think I couldn't feel it? Am I that worthless in your eyes?" Marcus froze for a moment, then gritted his teeth. "Nonsense. Sarah just happens to resemble Daisy. My care for her is out of guilt towards Daisy. Daisy was Marcus' younger sister. She passed away at 18 due to a genetic illness." I sneered. "Daisy wouldn't try to sow discord between us, nor would she shamelessly cling to you. You clearly enjoy Sarah's dependence on you, yet you found a high-sounding excuse to say she's like your sister. Marcus, have you no shame?" Slap. Before I could finish, Marcus, furious and humiliated, slapped me again. As if I had stepped on a sore spot, he ordered the bodyguards beside him, "Put in the crate for me. She won't be let out until she begs." The bodyguards immediately brought a crate and forcibly dragged me towards it, trying to push me inside. I resisted fiercely. During the struggle, they broke an arm, and the pain made me break out in a cold sweat, my teeth chattering. Just at this critical moment, a dozen luxury sedans lined up on the road in front of the vans. The car doors opened, revealing imposing men in identical uniforms. They were in sharp suits, an imposing presence, and looking intimidating. Leading them was Alex. Boss. As soon as Alex got out of the car, he saw my situation and rushed straight towards me. In an instant, all of Marcus' bodyguards were subdued. Alex helped me up, checked my injuries, and then glared fiercely at Marcus. "Marcus, you scoundrel, how dare you hurt our boss?" Just as Marcus was about to speak, Liam stepped forward and dislocated both of his arms. Not only that, after dislocating Marcus' arms, Liam turned and shouted to me, "Boss, we've avenged you." Marcus screamed in pain. Sarah quickly shielded him and asked, "Who are you people? Do you know who he is?" Olivia stepped forward, grabbed Sarah's hair and slapped her twice across the face. "A mere mistress dares to bark in front of our boss. I don't care who he is. If he dares to bully our boss, we'll beat him into a lowlife." Sarah, clutching her swollen cheek, stammered, "You see?" She wanted to ask who I really was. Olivia introduced, "Allow me to introduce you. The founder of Apex, our boss." Marcus froze. SOS card was really her own. At that moment, he didn't even care about the pain, just stared at me with a bewildered expression. I, holding my injured arm, walked directly in front of Marcus. "All these years, I haven't spent a single cent of your money. On the contrary, every time your company faced a crisis, I secretly helped you resolve it. Do you know why your company has a deficit? I suggest you thoroughly investigate Sarah, the one you trust the most." Having said that, I prepared to turn around, but Marcus screamed pitifully behind me, "No, don't leave." I stopped and turned my head. Marcus, thinking I still had feelings for him, instantly showed a glimmer of hope. "Don't leave me. I know I was wrong. You still love me, don't you?" I shook my head and pointed at the crate. "I forgot one thing. Put him in there for me." Marcus had never suffered such humiliation. He struggled, refusing to go in. But I intended to treat him exactly as he had treated me. So, several people worked together and forcibly stuffed Marcus into the crate. After locking the crate, I tossed the key over the wall, letting it fall into the garden inside the estate. I told Sarah, "Go find it. If you do, maybe you'll get to be Mrs. Vance." Hearing this, Sarah immediately turned and rushed into the estate, beginning to search everywhere. As for me, I directly got into Alex's car, and we sped away. Marcus watched helplessly as our convoy drove away, utterly unable to stop us. Soon after, I received a text message from my best friend Emma. Sarah had been fired. Marcus discovered that Sarah had colluded with Vance, accountant, to drain the company's funds. Marcus filed a lawsuit against Sarah and the accountant, and Sarah was highly likely to face 10 years in prison. I wasn't interested in that. All I wanted now was to lead Apex to new heights, but I never expected Marcus to come looking for me in Sterling City. As I left the office and was about to get into my car, a figure lunged at me, clutching me tightly. The familiar scent of sea salt filled my nostrils, and Marcus' muffled sobs echoed in my ears. "I'm sorry, Grace, can you forgive me? I just lost my way for a moment. Can't I change? You know how much I love you." I pushed him away without hesitation, my voice cold. "I'm sorry, I don't forgive you. You used to love me, so I know exactly what it looks like when you love someone. And now you don't love me, and I know that perfectly well too. I can't delude myself, so it's best if you don't come looking for me again. Otherwise, I'm afraid I won't be able to control myself, and I'll kill you." With that, I motioned for my bodyguards to forcibly pull him away. Marcus watched helplessly as I drove away, his eyes filled with despair. "Grace, can't a person make a mistake? Does one mistake mean the end? Why won't you give me a chance?" I leaned out of the back window and told him, "Because I don't love you anymore. Yes, because I didn't love him, I wasn't giving him another chance. Anyone who's willing to give a chance is someone whose love hasn't completely faded. Marcus despaired, and tears slowly welled up in his eyes. Later, after Marcus returned from Sterling City, Sarah sought him out. Sarah begged him not to report her, even stripping herself and offering herself to Marcus in bed. But, facing this young and beautiful body, felt nothing. He just slapped Sarah hard, then repeatedly struck himself. He was truly foolish to lose his treasure for such a promiscuous woman. Later, the verdict came down, and Sarah was imprisoned. To save Vance, Marcus desperately tried to secure investments. While he was tirelessly running around, finding no help, my team and I developed a new line of AI robots that won a National Technology Award. When my North subsidiary went public, Vance announced its bankruptcy. Marcus, once a golden boy, instantly fell into despair. I heard that after his job search failed, he humbled himself and took up delivery driving. Unfortunately, his debts were too high, he was insolvent, and 6 months later, he was diagnosed with stomach cancer. Before he died, he wanted to see me one last time. Thinking of everything from the past, I still went to meet him. On his hospital bed, he barely breathed as he sighed, "Grace, if only life could be replayed. If it could, I would never have lost you." I wiped away the single tear from my eye, and told him firmly, if it could be replayed, I'd rather never have met you. Marcus froze for a moment, then hopelessly closed his eyes. From deep affection in our youth to becoming sworn enemies. Love and hate settled, no longer owing each other anything. I only wish that in the next life, we would never meet again.